What's going on, guys? Welcome back to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast. I'm, as always, your host, Williamson, and today we have a lot of stuff to talk about. I've been gone for a little bit. As a lot of you guys know, I had to go out of town to see my grandfather who has fallen ill. We'll talk about that. Mike Perry, last night, the UFC fighter, Mike the Platinum Perry, punched an older man at a bar while yelling racist slurs and really caused a scene. We'll talk about that. Schaub and Bryan Callen of the Fighter of the Kid, they got coronavirus. We're going to talk about that. And I'm going to touch on kind of something that seems to be common in all of these situations, and also something I think is a big problem in America. Two big things that I think are problems in America that, guess what, guys? I've never talked about. This will be a first for both. So we're going to talk about delayed gratification, and I have talked about the absence of fathers in America, so we're going to get right into that here. Sit back, relax, get ready, Road to Redemption. Here we come. Okay. Ooh, that's a good way to start with a cracking voice. Okay. Here we are, guys. We're back with the Road to Redemption podcast. First things first, we'll get all my personal stuff out the way. That way I can kind of clear the pipes and give you guys the best episode I can on everything else. So, sorry that I'm late, first and foremost. Sorry that I'm late. I was called back to Columbus, Ohio, a little bit north. I'm from Columbus, but my family has since moved to Mount Gilead. I was called there. My grandfather's not doing so well. So my family called, said, hey, come and say hey. Also, it's your grandmother's birthday. We haven't seen you. I haven't seen a lot of my family members in like 5 years. So it was good, especially like my sister. My sister had a baby a couple months ago. So it's first time I'm an uncle. So now I'm an uncle. I get to meet my nephew, hang out with him. That was awesome. Got to see my sister for the first time. That was amazing. I met her husband, who she's been married to for I think a year or two now. That was great. Saw my mother, saw my stepfather, who I haven't seen in like 5, 6, 7 years, and my grandmother and grandfather, who the same thing. It was an emotional visit for good reasons and obviously bad when you go to visit a relative who's not doing well, and that's why they call you. There's the underlining tone of that. But I learned a lot. As you guys come to expect from me, I use everything as a learning lesson, and this one really taught me, what is your family made of? I'm going to tighten my freaking watch here because it's driving me nuts. What is your family made of? I look at the patriarch of my family, my grandfather. Without him, myself, my sister, my mom, my aunts, my uncles. So everything I know, it wouldn't exist really without my grandfather. And now he's fallen ill. So he was a man that was a prominent figure in my family. Everyone knew my grandfather, and they not in the way of like he was a local celebrity or anything, but he was a very handy man. He was a very useful guy. He worked at the GM union for years. He was well known, and he was well known to be a hard worker and a good family man. So now to watch him kind of realize what's going on, and everyone else is playing that dance between who people are and who people used to be, that's tough, especially when it's family. That's filled with a lot of emotion, and a lot of times when it comes to emotion, we don't know how to break away from that. Not saying that you don't deal with it. You have to deal with it, and that's been something I've been struggling with quite a bit since I've been home, is dealing with those emotions. I keep feeling myself wanting to have these like big emotional outbursts. I keep wanting to like make these bold proclamations about like little shit, music and artists and movies and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, that has nothing to do with the music or whatever. Or like I flip out about something at home. I'm like, babe, I'm sorry. That has nothing to do with that. I'm sorry. So I've been kind of all over the place. I have so much good going on in my life, and then there are as always, there's challenges, guys. And that's, we'll jump right into that. We'll stay philosophy first, and we'll kind of get into breaking news and current events after that. So I want to talk about the delayed gratification. Delayed gratification, I believe, also ties into a lot fatherlessness, right? So in life, your father, especially when I was coming up in my generation, your father was your disciplinarian, right? No, don't do that. You'll get hurt. I said no, don't do that. No, you're not having that. Not till after dinner. And then after dinner, you can have one. Take that ass to bed, right? That's dad for most people. Now, some people have very kind fathers who never did that, and namaste to all y'all. I hey, but most of us don't know that. So, like, it's not that a lot of us, and I was talking to my own father about this, it's not that fatherlessness was a choice always by fathers, especially from my generation, because most of us, we don't have good relationships with our fathers in the sense of they weren't there every day with us teaching us life lessons. So we didn't learn fundamental things from our fathers, right? A lot of us learned them from grandfathers. In my situation, my grandfather, my best friend's dad. I had tons of people that influenced my life very heavily. But as far as learning life lessons, a lot of that came from the military and post. So the delayed gratification thing has always been something I've noticed I've struggled with. If I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm thirsty, I get something to drink. If I want a soda, I get a soda. Instead of thinking about things like, oh, you've already had coffee, you should probably have some water. Oh, hey, what have you eaten? You've been eating like junk? Well, intermittent fasting may be good for you. That hunger that you feel may be telling you something. Hey, that might be a good thing right now. When I want to hear a song, I put it on and I blare it. Everything for me, while I am a very sensory reactive person, I like my indulgences. I like bold tastes and loud music when I like it, but when I'm done, I gotta shut it off. But all that is impulse control. So let's talk about in the sense of Mike Perry, right? So Mike Perry obviously is kind of a wild guy. He's kind of whatever. He clearly suffers from impulse control. Now, in that regard, I'm gonna pause right there because I want to talk further about Mike Perry's situation. I don't think he's totally at fault here from just the clip that I saw. Now, the racial slurs, I can't do nothing about that. Everyone knows Mike Perry says that kind of stuff, and people have just let him get away with it. Now they're bringing it to the attention that the UFC has never punished him for it. And so, like, are they going to start now? Like, what do you do? I don't know what you do. That's not for me to call, so I'm going to stay away from the racial slurs part, but he did yell at another white man the N-word multiple times. So the point with Mike Perry that I'm going to pause at, because I'm also going to hop over to Brendan Schaub. Brendan Schaub and Bryan Callen got the coronavirus, right? How did they do that? They, out of seeking to stay relevant or to make a splash on the airwaves, they took these hardcore stances against corona, saying fuck it, it's not dangerous, we'll be fine, most people don't catch it, especially people my age, whatever. They go to Texas, they do this gig that's pretty close to unrestricted as far as coronavirus goes. They both catch it, right? They both come back to California, interact with a few people. Now, luckily, it seems like to this point they didn't give it to anyone. But what happened from the time that mainly Brendan, as always, starts running off at his mouth and doing those things, it's an impulse control issue. Now, he's talked about his mixed relationship with his father, as has Bryan Callen. And then you look, what is one thing that these men clearly struggle with? Impulse control. And look at that throughout their entire careers. And look at that through people like me with all the battles that I've faced. And look at the people like Chris D'Elia and the struggles he's going through right now, where it doesn't look like he was a pedophile at all, just kind of an open invitation to fuck most of the time seemed to be the case, and he needed to apply some filters to that open invitation, it seemed. Or some more, they needed to be clearly put there for everyone else to see, and they better be in the future, because, I don't know, never mind, I'm not getting into that. Anywho, the fatherlessness coming to impulse control, the fatherlessness comes to a lot of things. The need for attention, the need, you don't think about things, right? So impulse control leads you to just do shit without thinking about it. I think this, so I'm going to say it. I feel this way right now, so I'm going to put it out there. Ooh, look, it's getting me a bunch of likes. Ooh, it's getting me a bunch of views. Oh, look, we're trending. We're doing better than since the coronavirus started. And they got in their egos. Look at us. Look at our podcast. Look at what the fuck we can do. We did this. This is self-made. Pride before the fall. We did this. Self-made. Podcast. Fucking network. We was on Fox. We doing shows. Brennan Schaub talking out his ass. Thick Boy Bike Club. Huffing his ass up a hill now because he's got coronavirus. Cool. Cool. I'm wearing a T-Fat-K shirt today. I like the guys. I just wish they went on some apology tour now afterwards. It's like, well, don't fucking apologize now. You did it. At least stand there and go, yeah, we did it. Just say you were wrong. Yeah, we were wrong. Yeah. Don't apologize like you regret doing it. You didn't. It was premeditated. There's hours and hours and hours of content of you boasting about the fact you're going to do it. That would be like if someone, Tekashi69, goes online and tells people where he's going to commit crimes and then go to prison for it. You Tekashi? In my Chris D'Elia voice? Come on. Like, come on. That's what they were doing. They got so caught up in, ooh, Chris D'Elia, these episodes got hot. Go look at that episode with Theo Von and Chris D'Elia. Hottest episode they have, where Chris is being, oops, all that. That is where the escalation of ego took off for everybody. And that was where the fucking tipping point was for everybody but Theo Von. In the world of Podcastville, and Andrew Santino. I think Andrew Santino's cool. Schultz is still doing well. Bobby Lee is untouchable because he's just, I mean, I don't even know what to talk about with Bobby Lee. Anyway, the parallels are amazing, right? So what am I saying? That because Brennan and Bryan and I and Lord knows Andrew Santino and all ton of other people who like to entertain you on camera. Yes, a lot of us have attention issues. We like attention in our own way, and we're kind of control freaks in how we get that. So that's going to lead to Brendan, Bryan, Andrew, myself, a lot of people talking out their ass. It happens. It's a part of life. Road to redemption means you don't shit on people. Yeah, you can poke at them a little, kind of like Andrew Schultz does, picks at people, but it's all about why are you picking at them? Are you picking at them because they deserve it, or are you picking at them just to be an asshole and try to boost your own self up? There's a big difference. But people forget that. People forget. Anyway, let's talk about the Mike Perry situation. So the fight, not really a fight. There's a little woman who I at first thought was his girlfriend, but I don't believe it was. I believe this was a member of another party, was in Perry's face screaming, talking about the police are going to be called or something. So they were in his face backing him up to the door. Words are transpired pretty much saying, call the police, I wasn't doing nothing, you put hands on me, don't be doing shit like whatever. Perry is being relatively cool due to what it looks like this lady is screaming in his face for whatever reason. Now, I don't know what Perry did leading up to this. I have no idea what he did leading up to this. Then some overweight dude, white guy, I have to mention because Perry calls him the N-word multiple times, overweight white dude that looks like everybody's dad from fucking Idaho ever, in like a polo striped shirt, comes up talking shit to Mike Perry. Hey, first off, don't do that. Don't do that. Anybody, don't do that. If you are not a trained fighter, don't talk shit to anyone, first off. Even if you are a trained fighter, don't talk shit to people. But, okay, know who's in front of you. Like, when he's backing up, telling you, man, you don't want this problem, stuff like that. Men out in the public who don't train, if you hear someone say, you don't want this problem or I'll knock you the out, and you get a little hair starting to stand up on the back of your neck telling you, buddy, you might get knocked the fuck out here, listen to that. Because there are some people out there who can really hurt you. So, to me, I think either somebody recognized who Perry was and started bothering him, and then now, Hood Rat Mike Perry, self-admittedly, comes out, and you're going to get what you ask for every single time, especially when you're trying to gain something off of him or whatever you're trying to do. Now, I'm not justifying what he did. Now, I am also, because if another man put their hands on me, you have the right to defend yourself. Mike did exactly what he promised. Call the police. I'll tell them what you've done. I haven't done shit. Hey, man, you touch me, I'm going to knock you out. Touches him, bang! Perry cracked him. And now everyone's going, oh, my God, he hit an old... No. He didn't Conor McGregor that guy, where Conor walked up to an old man in a bar, offered him a shot, dude didn't want it, told him to fuck off with your whatever, and Conor cracks him because he's in a bad mood. No. From my perception, Mike Perry was being bothered by a group of hood rat people who wanted something from him, and then you got the same guy you thought you were going to meet. Well, hey, sometimes life is just, With that being said, guys, I want to encourage everyone, take care of yourselves. Right now just seems to be a really heavy time. Everyone seems to be suffering from some kind of burnout, whether it be quarantine, fatigue, or some of y'all are back to work and you're feeling burnout. Some of y'all are trying new shit and it just doesn't feel like it maybe is getting going. Well, hey, just keep going. Just keep going. Try to keep smiling. I hope I can bring you a smile every now and again, even through crazy shit going on. I always try to lift you guys up. If you guys watched the studio tour, you already know about this book, but I want to find it real quick. The book is called Quiet. I just keep forgetting who wrote the book. I screenshotted it on my... Sorry, guys. I apologize. The book is called Quiet. It's on Audible. If you guys go... It's called An Introvert... It's about introverts in a world that can't stop talking. So there you go. The book is called Quiet. I think the author's first name is Susan. I think it's Susan Cain. Introverts staying quiet in a world that can't stop talking. So if you guys relate to me and you feel like, oh man, Cam really gets me, well, go check out that book because I feel like that book really got me. Guys, I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thumbs up, subscribe. We have a way now because you see everything we got going on. Go check out the Road to Redemption podcast.com. Everything is there now. We got the blog there. We got audio episodes there, which I'm 2 behind. I didn't upload the last audio episode to iTunes, so we're 2 behind there. I'll do that. I'll fix that with this one. You can find all the audio episodes and all the video episodes there. The blog. We'll have the store up soon where you guys will be able to buy Road to Redemption merch. Check it out. Tell your friends. If y'all need some photos or video or social media help in the Clarksville, Tennessee area, hit up your boy. We love you. Road to Redemption.